Good morning, broadcasting to you live from the Orion Spiral Arm of the Milky Way Galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of Cleveland, Ohio. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Wednesday, February the 4th, 2026. And this right here, the thing that you are watching, well, you know what it is. It's the Unhappy Hour Sports Show here on the New American Media. Thank you so much for being here today. The Cavs made a huge trade, and we are bringing in longtime friend of the show, Zak Baris, to discuss what's going on. My, oh my, it's bringing back the, I'm sort of bringing the old band back together vibe, Zak. Welcome to the show.
I think you're feeling it correctly. I really do.
Well, walk us through what we know. Now, you have some relationships with these teams, with some of these players. How close were you to DG? Zak, do we still have you? Zak is out there in Florida. I'm trying to hear Zak. Can you hear us, Zak? Hold on. I cannot hear you. I can't hear you. You're on mute. You are on mute, sir. The audio is off. I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. Can you hear me? Hang on, let's try to reconnect, Zak. All right, we're going to try to bring Zak back in. Let me recap you on the trade. The Cavaliers traded Darius Garland. Let's see if this works a little bit better. Okay, I think we can see Zak and hear Zak.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I was asking, you have a relationship with some of these players. Were you close to DG now that he's gone?
Yeah, I've known Darius for 7 years.
And so what does it mean to you personally seeing him go? Because we've watched him grow.
Personally, I'm sad to see him go. I wanted him to win a championship in Cleveland. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
Okay, I heard you say, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Now I can't hear you again. We are losing Zak. He's outside. He's walking, and that might be in and out spotty communication. We're trying to make this work. We'll try it a third time. We'll try it as many times as it takes to try to get it to work. Zak, can you hear us?
Yes.
All right, let's try it this time. So you said you've known him for 7 years, and it's kind of tough to see him go. You wanted him to win a title here.
Yeah, obviously I wanted him to win a title here. It didn't happen, and it's unfortunate. But
we keep losing you. You start talking, and then the line goes silent. I don't know if it's the earbuds. It might be the earbuds, but your line keeps going silent after you talk for about 5-10 seconds. I don't know what's happening. Cavs traded Darius Garland and a second-round pick for James Harden. There's a 10-year difference between the players, and you have to wonder about the injury status with the toe. And then the other toe. It's not the AirPods, okay? I have to call you, and you... Hang on. Oh, hold on. All right, so what is going on with the audio?
Brian, I can hear you just fine. You can hear me right now. It's something on your side. It's not mine. I tried connecting from my microphone. It didn't work. I tried connecting from my AirPods. It didn't work. I can hear you just fine.
Let me turn this up in the studio. Let me make sure I can hear you. Hang on. Let's get you up to... All right, so what is going on with the audio? Let me double check this.
Just fine. I mean, like, and I know you can hear me just fine. It's not my AirPod. We did Apple microphone too, and it didn't work either. So it's on your side. It's not on mine.
Well, welcome to the show. We'll do this the best we can. I'll put you on speaker. We'll try to make it work. Talk about DG. You're sad that he can't win a championship. That's where the call keeps cutting out.
Yeah, I'm sad he can't win a championship in Cleveland. But you know what it is? What it is in sports is a business. And the Cavaliers have not been able to get past the second round. They lost to the Knicks, barely beat the Magic 2 years ago in 7 games. Lost to the Knicks, got crushed by the Knicks in 5. Last year, crushed the Heat in the first round and doubled into a roadblock in the Pacers and lost 2 games at home last year. 2 games in the final seconds because they couldn't keep the ball. They kept turning over the ball. They blew a 10-point lead with under a minute left. So they had to obviously shake things up. They need to get back to the offensive side of the ball. They have not been performing well with Darius on the court this year. And Darius was not himself this year, obviously, because of the toe injury. I tend to think the toe injury is much worse than they're letting on, and that's why they traded him. Because they can't rely on him to be healthy. It's been 2 years in a row in the playoffs he hasn't been there.
Right. So what about the retooling now? What are we getting in James Harden? How is he going to change the Cavs' dynamics on offense? Because they're both ball-heavy players. Their usage rate is sort of through the roof. We watched Evan Mobley. We hoped for him to take a step forward. If anything, he took a step back. What is it going to change with Harden on this offense now?
I mean, let's be honest here for a second, too. We don't even know who's going to be on this roster as of tomorrow night.
You're right.
That's the kicker right here. We don't know who's going to be here. For Larry Nance, Rodney Hood, all those guys, Jordan Clarkson. When they added all those guys at the deadline, it kind of gave a nice little boost for a little bit. And they got to the finals, but they got their asses kicked against Golden State.
And we also did that Isaiah Thomas. Like I mean, we had Dwayne Wade in, Derrick Rose.
They moved Derrick Rose, and that was at midseason at the trade deadline. They really shook things up. Their biggest mistake that year was getting rid of Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
For nothing at that point. They should not have gotten rid of Wade, but they did. He would have been an integral part in the finals team. I don't think they would have beaten Golden State either way. But again, rather than being 4-0, it could have been 4-2 or something. That's what happened. It is what it is. But I expect the Cavaliers to have a totally different look. Have two guards that can put up combined 100 points a game when they need to.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see because Mobley and Allen don't play very well together. They both play phenomenal when each other's not on the court. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of them got moved. Most likely Allen, because Allen doesn't show in the playoffs.
Well, they say the same about James Harden, but they just haven't shown in the playoffs yet.
Well, he's 36. It's about time to show up or shut up.
So you think mainly this is an issue about, as Ezrael told me yesterday, the best ability is the availability. Is that really what you're getting with Harden? It's like we hate to see Garland go, but we just can't rely on his health anymore?
Yes, and the Cavaliers already proved they can't win with their core four. As much as it sucks, they can't win with their core four. It just is what it is. They were not going to win the title this year with their current core four with Garland, Mitchell, Allen, and Mobley. They proved that. So, I think there's two untouchables on this roster right now, and it's Jalen Tyson and Donovan Mitchell. They're the two untouchables.
You think Jalen Tyson is untouchable more than Evan Mobley?
Yes.
Woo.
Look at the contract he signed to. He's on a rookie deal.
Okay.
So Jalen Tyson's their second most untouchable piece. They'll move Mobley in the rep deal. I firmly believe that.
Okay.
I firmly believe that they can move. And I was hearing this morning that the Timberwolves don't want to trade Jaden McDaniels in multiple firsts for Giannis. Mm-hmm. So there could be a pivot right there where the Cavaliers might have the best offer on the table, and if they can get Giannis to commit long term, I could see them pulling off a deal for Giannis.
But if that's the case, then Tyson would obviously be a part of that.
No.
Really? Mobley? Draft picks?
It would be a package centered around Evan Mobley.
How concerned are you with the health of Giannis?
I think if he's motivated, I'm not worried.
You think maybe he's kind of sitting it out because he's not motivated?
The Bucks are not in contention. They're maybe in contention for a play-in seed, a 10 seed. But they're just like, I mean, again, it's not what they expected. Now, is there some kind of opportunity to get a third team involved? Is Miles Turner going to be in a trade? You know, I don't know how they're going to configure this at all. I really don't. I was surprised. Like, I wasn't surprised they pulled off the trade last night. I kept hearing about it for the last couple of days.
Right.
At first, I was shocked, and I'm like, why would you want Harden? But again, I think Kobe realized he needs to shake things up. They want to win. And you can't take on more salary than you're dishing out. You can't sign anyone at the mid-level. You can't do anything.
And that was sort of what DeAndre Hunter was all about, was to shed some payroll.
Yep, so they were kneecapped, but Keon Ellis defensively is what they needed.
That's what everyone's saying. He's going to fit in real nicely, but well, like you said, we don't know. So I guess let's not spend too much time on the core four or Mobley and Allen, because this could get shaken up. I've heard Zion Williamson. I've heard a lot of Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Williamson is not coming to Cleveland. I'd be shocked.
Okay, well, some people are shocked by James Harden and DG.
I haven't even heard Zion Williamson coming with that.
Okay, so
It's just not. It's a very unlike Kobe Altman move to take on a player who's often injured, can't stay healthy, and his weight is a meaningful question. So I don't think he's on the table.
So Giannis is probably the most likely thing that you have. And who are the Cavs competing against? The Knicks, the Timberwolves, the Bulls?
Well, for Giannis,
yeah.
Let's be honest. I don't think the Bulls can pull it off.
Okay.
The Timberwolves absolutely can. Who are the other teams you mentioned?
The Knicks, the Bulls. The Knicks probably the
favorite. Could absolutely get it done. If they involve Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges, I do believe they can get it done. Now the question is, if you're New York, do you want to break up your core when you were close to making it to the finals last year? That's the question. I do believe New York's current roster can make the finals. Do I think they can win the finals? I think anyone trying to beat OKC is going to be tough. But you never know. OKC could stumble against Denver. They could stumble in the playoffs. You never know. It's all dependent on health.
Exactly.
So if I'm the Knicks, do I go to shake things up? That's not on me. That's on Leon Rose. That's on James Dolan and Mike Brown and their front office and their coaching staff. But the Knicks absolutely do have the ammo to pull it off.
Okay. So any other trade moves you expect to see? We're very guard heavy at this point, probably moving a couple of them, trying to make something.
Yes, I believe Lonzo Ball's number one player to get traded, then Max Strus.
Okay.
Then Jared Allen or Evan Mobley, one of those two.
All right, maybe in that order. What about Anthony Davis? We keep hearing his name brought up.
Oh, yeah, he's healthy all the time. But, yes, his name does keep getting brought up. I'm not really sure for who. I don't know if I couldn't see them trading Mobley for Anthony Davis, for a 34-year-old.
But you could see Jared Allen for AD. If
it was Jared Allen, some package in a 3-team trade involving Max Strus or Lonzo Ball, or even both of them in a 3-team, 4-team trade, yes, I could see that.
Okay. So your gut instinct tells you those are the players that might move. What do you think the likelihood is that we pull up off another big deal? Because I think it's kind of high. There's a lot of smoke right now.
I think it's very high. I think Kobe's wheeling and dealing. I think he's going to retool this roster. He wants to win a title. Dan Gilbert wants to win a title.
So do I.
They're not shooting to make the Eastern Conference Finals. Don't forget, the LeBron era taught us something in Cleveland. It's championship or bust. We went to 4 straight titles with LeBron. And if we didn't run into the Warriors with Durant, odds are they probably would have won a few more, and they would have never broken up the court.
I know.
I mean, if you look at that Warriors team, if they didn't get Kevin Durant, the Cavaliers may have won 3 or 4 more finals. Who knows if Kyrie Irving would have even been traded?
I know. It's brutal that history played out that way. Damn Kevin Durant.
You could look at alternate history in the NBA, and the Cavaliers could have been a Chicago Bulls mid-'90s style run.
And then the GOAT conversation is obviously very different between the Jordanites and the LeBronites. But
I mean, yeah, 73-win team added Kevin Durant to its roster. I mean, that's all you need to know.
Exactly.
Because they couldn't beat Cleveland. They realized that Cleveland had their number from that point on. Cleveland was going to keep beating them. They didn't have a choice but to shake things up.
Now,
but again, your title window in the NBA is very short. They do that on purpose. So there are no super teams for 10 plus years. That's the thing. As good as Oklahoma City, as good as the Thunder are, they have a lot of way, but don't expect those guys to be there for 5-6 years. I expect Shea to be the cornerstone, but eventually they could move Lou Dort. They could move, Jalen Williamson. They could move Jalen Williams. They could move Chet Holmgren. They'll probably wind up moving 2 out of the next 4 in the next few years. They're loaded with draft picks. They're absolutely loaded. I could see them trading one of those guys for a younger star in the next couple of years. It very well could happen to get a guy on his rookie deal. But that's why Sam Presti has a war chest of draft picks.
Yeah.
They drafted very well, but they learned from the Harden mistake. When they traded James Harden in the NBA, they always say, do not trade $1 for 4 quarters. Brian, how many times have I said that on the show?
1 million times. Zach, you've been on this show for so long, and you've said never trade $1 for 4 quarters. Over and over.
Oklahoma City traded James Harden at his peak for Steven Adams and a bag of balls.
And Adams is a fine player, but he's no James Harden.
But the thing is, they may have won 3 or 4 titles with James Harden.
Yeah.
I mean, with Westbrook and Durant, they may have won multiple titles.
Yeah, if Kyrie and Love don't get injured, and if Durant doesn't go, the Cavs could have been, like you said, a 6-year team. Yeah, the hindsight is kind of weird. Actually, thinking about those years, I've heard Kevin Love's name brought up to maybe come back.
I think that a potential buyout. I think it's definitely possible. I don't think they're going to trade for him.
And there probably won't be a buyout with LeBron this year.
Here's another name to bring up, too. If the Cavaliers are able to get under the second apron fully, watch out for a name on the buyout market, DeMar DeRozan.
DeRozan?
Yes.
Now, he's a one-time NBA champion with the Raptors, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Watch for a name like a DeMar DeRozan if he gets bought out in Sacramento.
Okay. How does that money work on a buyout with the second apron and everything gets a little kind of convoluted?
So you can't increase any salary when you're on the second apron. So that's the problem. So the Cavaliers have to get out. That's why I fully believe that Lonzo Ball and or Max Strus will be traded.
For financial reasons only. At least financial reasons.
It's not financial reasons, too. They also want to improve, and you can't make improvements to your roster when you're in the second apron. You can't take on more money than you're dishing out. So it complicates any trade. If you get rid of them in the trade, it allows you to have flexibility with your roster. That's the difference. Also, the Cavaliers are positioning themselves next year to sign LeBron James at the mid-level exception.
There we go. That part. Now explain why that would be the mid-level exception.
LeBron's not going to command any top dollar anymore, and I think he knows that, especially in his final year. It's going to be more of a farewell tour where I wouldn't be surprised if the Cavaliers played him 12 to 20 minutes a night and then got him healthy and got him healthy for the playoffs and then let him go off one last time. And with James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, you let LeBron widen to the sunset in a 60-win team and allow him to come dominate in the playoffs. Literally put his ass on the line one last time to do it.
That feels like the storybook ending. We all we said, oh, you liar. You said you were going to retire in Cleveland. And I think you and I were both like, hey, just because he's going to the Lakers doesn't mean he's not going to retire in Cleveland. The guy is timeless.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, did you watch the Lakers-Cavs game the other night?
I caught highlights.
Okay, go back and watch the game. You tell me if that looks like a guy whose last game is in Cleveland.
Because because his game is still top notch.
He just didn't. No, I'm saying it wasn't the emotional farewell. Do you remember the 2018 finals when we all knew LeBron was leaving at the end of Game 4? It was very emotional.
Yeah.
Everybody knew it was his last game here. Everyone knew. It wasn't a surprise. Everyone knew he was leaving. It wasn't a surprise. Okay. That the other night did not seem like his last game in Cleveland.
And it felt like the clip that was shown where he got emotional on the sidelines and he said, I was just soaking it all in. That getting emotional felt a little forced, a little bit of Hollywood acting to me.
No, I don't believe that at all. I believe it was, okay, I miss Cleveland. I want to come back here and win one last month in the city.
I think there was some of that too. Yeah.
And that's what I was getting out of it. I wasn't getting a LeBron bullshit acting. I genuinely believe. I think he regrets his decision leaving multiple occasions, but his life after the Cavs was based in LA after that. You know, he wanted to go Hollywood. But how much has LeBron gone to Hollywood in the last couple of years? He hasn't at all. You know, everybody started expecting him to go the Michael Jordan route acting in movies. He did 2 and he's done.
What was it? He did Trainwreck and
Trainwreck, and he did Trainwreck and he did Space Jam 2. Hasn't done anything since.
And a cameo in Entourage, and you know, but also the production company and all the other projects. There's other stuff going on, but
yeah. But I could see him finish it's a storybook ending. It really is. It's a storybook ending if he ends his career in Cleveland.
And so if they know that LeBron is coming back next year on the mid-level exception, how much would that cost, by the way?
I'm not exactly sure. I need to go look through the chart, but I don't know what the taxpayers' mid-level is going to be next year.
Okay.
I really don't. I have no clue what it's going to be.
I mean, at this point, though, LeBron would play for the league minimum if he can win another championship, especially in Cleveland. You know, like, he doesn't need money. He needs another title for that.
No, and if he gets that other title next year, it puts him back in the conversation, especially if he's a big part of it and comes in and can retire off into the sunset, you know, at the Cavs. It's a huge deal.
Yeah, it absolutely would be. And you got to think that Giannis is discussing that with their camp. There have to be those conversations happening behind the scenes, even with Harden. They're all talking, right? Their management teams are all speaking, you would imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they all are.
And so, yeah, maybe Kevin Love, maybe Anthony Davis, you know, getting the band back together. As weird as it sounds, I don't know, man. So I would probably say it's a would Bronny come?
The Cavaliers are too athletic to bring Kevin Love to big valuable minutes to the roster. That's the issue. You're not going to pull Naquan Tomlin's minutes. You're not going to pull even Thomas Bryant's minutes for Kevin Love at this point.
Yeah, just a big body with experience on the bench. I mean,
maybe, you know, again, kind of like that Giannis has him rolling his final years in Miami. But I don't expect anything more than that if Kevin's going to come back. I don't believe he will. I think the Cavs have a very, very deep roster.
Yeah.
Okay, like insanely deep. I don't foresee Kevin Love coming back. I think it's a possibility, a low possibility, but it's possible.
Now, Bronny is on year 2 of a 4-year rookie deal, around $8 or $9 million. Would he be a part of it, or would he stay in LA if you were guessing?
I really don't know. I don't have a clue if he'd be a part of it or not. Listen, the Cavaliers don't need LeBron. LeBron needs the Cavaliers. If he wants to win a title, listen, he can go to San Antonio too. But what does that do for his legacy? That's the thing. If he comes back to Cleveland and wins, that does something for his legacy.
That would feel different. Why would that feel different? Because he only got us 1 championship with all those prime years. It feels like a total underachieving, doesn't it, for the best player of all time?
I mean, here's the thing. It's Cleveland. The fact that he won 1.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Brian, I remember sitting there going at one point, if Cleveland gets 1 championship in my lifetime, I'll be thrilled.
So we don't know how it's going to shake out with Bronny. We don't know if Kevin Love, Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, but like the trade deadline is Thursday at 3, correct?
Yes.
All right. Any other thoughts then about this Cavs team, and then any other trades that you've seen across the league? Any thoughts? There have been a couple of pretty large trades happening.
There will be some large trades. I expect a few superstars to get moved. Watch for the Lakers to potentially make a trade, because I think they realize they're not going to win anything this year. Denver could be in a similar category where they make some small trades. OKC could beef up the roster, but I don't know if they need to. I mean, we just witnessed Utah trade for Jaren Jackson out of the blue.
Yeah, that was a pretty big one. That's a big name.
I expect Ja Morant to be fully moved by today.
Any guess where? Where to?
No, I have no clue.
And what type of player is Ja Morant with his quirks and his legal issues and his availability?
Too, is what team wants Ja Morant? That's the honest question. I'm not trying to be an ass when I say that. But what team wants Ja Morant? Is he the superstar he once was a couple of years ago? I don't believe so.
Yeah.
Also look for a name in the buyout market, Mike Conley Jr.
That guy gets traded every couple of months.
Look for the name in the buyout market.
Just like Schroeder.
Also, not discussing a big trade that Boston just traded for Vucevic from the Bulls.
That's what I was just going to bring up. What does that do for the Celtics now?
Well, it gets you the big man that you need. It also tells you Jason Tatum might not be as far away from returning as we thought.
Right. So I guess the biggest threat in the East, if you had to, let's imagine the Cavs aren't done. Who else do you see positioned to move out of the East then with these trades, with the new shuffling around?
Listen, there's Detroit. There's New York. I'm trying to think who else. I'm just walking.
Oh, yeah. You have Detroit. You have New York.
Boston.
Boston, Raptors, Sixers, Heat, Magic.
I don't believe the Raptors will do anything in the playoffs. The Sixers, same thing. I don't believe they're there yet. And I believe you got 4 teams competing for the playoff for the finals in the East.
Pistons, Knicks, Celtics, Cavs.
Yes. And in the West, I fully believe it's Oklahoma City, Denver, and San Antonio.
Not the Rockets.
The Rockets too, but the Rockets are as good as the Rockets are. They're still a step below Denver and below OKC. I put them in the next category with Denver. They're just not OKC. I do believe they're very good. And San Antonio, I put them up there with San Antonio. I mean, I still think San Antonio is a year away, but they have a chance to be really good.
And then, of course, the Suns, Timberwolves, and Warriors as well. Warriors are also in the Giannis mix, apparently.
As good as the Timberwolves are, if the Timberwolves get Giannis, it's a different story.
Yeah, that would change the whole dynamics. Well, I guess we are both expecting a lot of other big moves in the next day and a half. Is that fair to say, next day or so?
Yeah.
Well, then I would say that is basically what I wanted to cover today. Are there any other odds and ends, loose ends, anything basketball related, college, pro, trades, rumors, buyouts, anything else that we didn't touch on that you wanted to drop in?
I think we pretty much touched on everything. I think you're going to see a robust buyout market. I think you're going to see a very, very robust buyout market coming in the next couple of days.
Any particular reason why you expect to see that? Just addition by subtraction of disgruntled employees, or
it's exactly what it is. And
dollar reasons.
Contracts. Teams want to shed players, contracts. It's a mix.
And you just see
there's no reason to carry a 35, 36-year-old veteran on your roster when you're a 32-win team.
Yeah. If you're going nowhere, you might as well shed it and see if you can accumulate some assets, huh?
Yeah, and get a higher draft pick. It's that simple.
Okay.
And then let these guys go somewhere else.
All right. Well,
the other team that we talk about every year. We talk about 2 teams every year, and very rarely do they ever make the deal. And then last year they happen to make the deal with each other. Golden State and Miami. Those are 2 sleeper teams to watch out for here.
Oh yeah.
Where Jimmy Butler and Draymond get dealt. But if you're Milwaukee, unless you're getting a bunch of picks, Jonathan Kuminga doesn't hold that much value. And if you're Miami, you're going to have to give up Tyler Herro in any deal.
And so it might not make as much sense for them.
No. So, I mean, Miami would do it. I do believe Pat Riley would. I mean, they've been stuck in anonymity since LeBron left. Yes, they made the finals in the COVID year, but that is what it is.
That's true. You're right, though, that you always forget. It's easy to forget about the Heat, but they're lurking there ready to bite at all times. Same with the Warriors. You just kind of forgot they're out there because they haven't really been competing for titles the way they were against the Cavs, but they're hungry. They're motivated to make some big moves while they still have Curry.
There's another team in the East that's making some noise right now, quietly. The Charlotte Hornets.
Okay.
Been playing very, very good basketball over the last month, like very good basketball. They're a team to watch out for at the deadline now. They've never been one to pay the tax, do anything, so I don't really know, but they're a young team and they've got some talent.
I guess one final question, Zach, and I'll let you go. Now that you mentioned the Hornets, it's kind of reminding me. The Clippers were on a winning streak. They were doing really well. And then James Harden just kind of seemed like he didn't want to play for him anymore. And this is sort of his pattern. What was that about? And are you worried that he's going to bring that here? Or do you think he's going to re-sign here?
I really don't know what the key is. I really don't know what the answer is. James Harden's kind of a wild card. But let's just say he did this in Houston.
Yep.
He did this in Brooklyn.
Yep.
He did this in Philadelphia.
Yep.
And now he's done it in LA. What's to say he's not going to do it in Cleveland? You know, I guess winning cures all, but the question is, how does he gel with Donovan Mitchell and the current rest of the roster? Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm not saying Evan Mobley and Jared Allen is because I don't know if they're going to be here tomorrow.
Fair point. Fair
you
point.
Know, I could go on in a day and then tell you and dissect the roster and, you know, and go through everything there. But we don't even know if who's going to be on this team by tomorrow.
Very true. Very true. And the thing that I was kind of picking up on with James Harden in his game, the pick and rolls, there's going to be a lot. What is he, 4th in the league in assists right now or something like that? 27 points a game?
It could really boom, you know, Mobley and Jared Allen's game if they're both here.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't know what's going to happen. I expect Kobe to make a splashy move. I just don't know what it's going to be. I would like to I do have trouble thinking that they would trade Evan Mobley. I do. Jared Allen, I think, is more likely to go. But again, Mobley went from being untouchable last year to being touchable.
And that really speaks to selling high. If you feel like there's injuries or limitations to game, you've watched them for all these years. If you feel like this is an asset class that's going to depreciate over time, you sell it at its apex. And maybe that's what it takes to bring back a bona fide MVP, championship winning Giannis Antetokounmpo. You can package some picks and some potential and some hope, but sometimes you just move on when you think you've reached the end of the road. But yeah, what they were saying about Harden was all of these chucking up the shots and getting Mobley the pick and rolls close to the rim. Even if some of these shots miss, you have them in better position to play like 7-footers because they're already right there at the rim to grab it and tip it in, grab it in a putback, grab it in a kickback out for a 3. Something that it just, the flow of the offense for the Cavs just hasn't been optimized this year. And maybe Harden's addition could change that. And you're right. If we don't do anything else to the roster, maybe they put Donovan and Mobley together at the same time. Maybe they put Harden and Jared Allen together at the same time, and they both give them time to just do their 2-man game. Maybe that would help. I really don't know, but I would like to be that number 1 seed in the East again, but we feel a little far from it. So I don't know. You're optimistic with what we have, even though it could totally change?
Yes, I'm optimistic right now, but again, it doesn't mean this roster's set in stone. There's another 27 hours to change it.
Right.
So, and I fully expect there to be multiple deals done today and tomorrow.
All right.
I'd be shocked if they go in with Lonzo Ball and Max Strus. Now, I can see Strus staying, but I absolutely see Lonzo Ball being moved. And I know for a fact the Cavaliers have been trying to trade Lonzo Ball for weeks.
Oh, so maybe that's a reflection of his value on the open market, perhaps, or just they've.
I mean, why would anybody want him? The guy's washed. He has no knees. You know, it just, again, I just don't see him being in Cleveland long term.
What is his contract? Is it something expiring or it's something? It's not long.
I think he's signed for 1 more year after this.
So not necessarily an expiring contract, but it's, you know, maybe you dump somebody's 3 or 4 year deal they're ready to move off of. You never know why a team would be motivated, I guess.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Zach, let me let you go. Thanks for checking in. We'll let's maybe plan on touching base after the deadline, assuming there's a big move.
Yeah, I'm flying to San Francisco tomorrow evening. I could potentially be available Friday afternoon. I'm going out for the Super Bowl.
Nice. All right. Who's your prediction for the Super Bowl, sir?
I'm going to say Seahawks 24-21.
Seahawks. Do you think it'll come down to a final play? They either run it or they pass it?
I do. One of the Patriots played in a Super Bowl that wasn't close, other than they beat the Rams 13-3.
In
all
13,
the Super Bowls have been close.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, then there's the prediction. Zach, have a good time out there, as you usually do. And we will stay in touch, especially if there's some significant roster changes to the Cavaliers in the meantime.
Thanks, Brian.
All right. To be continued. You have a great one, buddy. We will talk to you again soon. There's Zak Baris, everyone. Friend of the show. He's been on for years. We had 3 or 4 times glitchy audio. He called in. It was working. and it went for 10 seconds and then it just shut down. I don't know if it was earbuds or not. He thought it was on my end, but that's never happened on my end to anybody ever before. So regardless, but yeah, he was out and about in Florida. So there were cars passing. So we tried to give you the best audio imaginable. It was what it was, but it's sort of breaking news. The Cavs are going to be big players in this. LeBron coming back to Cleveland feels like a definite possibility. Giannis Antetokounmpo or Anthony Davis coming to Cleveland feels probable, if not it feels possible, if not probable. And yeah, so there we are. Okay, we will come back. Let me hit refresh. We're going to reboot our next TNAM Daily Show. I consider just staying live for the TNAM Daily Show, but it's a very different subject matter. I really don't want to get all of that Epstein stuff mixed in with the sports. Let's put a line in this one, call it a day, and then I'll just come back on the other side here at the New American Media. Thank you so much. I'll see you in a couple minutes. Jump back into the room. Give me like 5-10, and we will relaunch. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Zak Baris, for joining us. Go Cavs. Check out the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. We have a standalone page for the Unhappy Hour Sports Show on YouTube. Please subscribe to that page, maybe like a couple posts, let something play in the background. We just wanted to have a place that's sports only, and sometimes it's sports some, because during the TNAM Daily Shows, I would click to share this on the YouTube link for the Unhappy Hour, and we would do a sports show and then do 2 hours of politics, which I'm fine doing occasionally, but mainly I want the sports to be sports, a distraction from the craziness of the world. But back in a moment, we are going to unpack the craziness of the world because we're a bunch of trash pandas rifling through the rubbish, separating fake news from fact right here on the New American Media. All right, everybody. New show launching